Pleasure to meet y'all at last, and welcome back to Why Is That? So for today, this is number 59, and I feel like that right now, there probably is in fact going to be a lot of other stuff I might be willing to talk about here, because with all this time that I've been spending here, I'd say I'm getting a little deprivation. No pressure, but anyways, number 59 out of 65. The question down here is actually going to talk a little more about the kind of phone I have. Because before I've talked about how it was shattered on the back side, but you know what? This one just talks about the smartphone ownership in general. It basically asks me, when this screenshot appears, it'll say, why is that you don't own an iPhone like a boss? Now, I don't really know what you guys are possibly thinking. iPhone is not the greatest invention ever put together. And as a matter of fact, iPhone wasn't even the first smartphone that ever was introduced to the public. It wasn't the first smartphone to ever get a patent. It wasn't the first smartphone to be so innovative. It wasn't the most, I guess, intuitive thing to put together. The smartphone wasn't even the first type of smartphone in general, across all categories possible. Because, after all, cell phone innovation and all that pretty much goes back even further than you possibly ever imagined. Because during the 80s, those really long cell phones that were pretty much like this big, that's pretty much all we had. In the 90s, cell phones got much smaller and more manageable to hold on to. Then, of course, instead of the ordinary flip phone or track phone or slider phone or whatnot, or even those rotary dial phones, and not to mention the actual phone booths, which probably were discontinued by the time I was 6 years old, then along came the smartphone. 15 years since, we've really gotten ourselves ahead of the game here with all billions of smartphones that have been sold so far. Worldwide, we've been getting a lot of people who talk about them. But the question is, how on earth do you think the iPhone is better than any other smartphone that we've ever had in the marketplace? A lot of them can sell way cheaper. And now, you might think I'm a hypocrite or something because I've always said, quote, you always gotta pay extra to get the premium option, end quote. No joke. That's a quote I've been consistently saying for the last several months now. Because after all, there's a lot of people who complain about how a lot of the much more high quality and better stuff out there can cost a lot extra compared to much of those cheap knockoff relevant sort of items that you could possibly get in the marketplace. And you know what? I'd say there's actually a couple reasons that can help justify that. For the price tag being, let's say, 3 times more than that on a pair of shoes, I gotta be honest though. I actually bought a brand new set of Altra Escalantes for $49.99 on eBay. They were brand new, first edition, fresh out of the factory, in box, with accessories and the like, an instruction manual and paper, all for only $50 on eBay. That is an impressive deal if I ever saw one. And as a matter of fact, there was another pair of shoes that I'm hoping to buy later this year. The Topo Athletic lineup of shoes. The ST3s, perhaps. Those will cost only about $75. Somewhat more expensive than the Altra Escalantes, but I'd say it's probably more worth it than to pay $100 for it. Yet another example of eBay coming in and saving the day when it comes to, well, incredible price deals and drops and the like. And the fact that I can actually go on eBay and buy something brand new, premium, high quality, for much less than what it usually sells for, it's incredible. It's just amazing. Fantastic. Superb. Excellent. There's no denying that eBay is definitely one of the greatest innovators in the world when it comes to inventory liquidation and price drops, deal breaking, and many other categories that suit the website just fine. And I will say for sure that maybe the iPhone is incredible compared to this Samsung lineup of smartphones, or BLU, or Motorola, or LG, or Nokia, or any of the other smartphone brands that we currently have on the market. I suppose iPhone is better than the others in a way, but what is it exactly? Is it because iOS has its own independent series of apps that allow you to control in the same way that Google would, or in the same way that Amazon probably would, or in the same way that other companies worldwide have also taken on to? There's a lot of different, innovations and intuitive pieces that pretty much put this whole thing together. The iPhone, though, in general, it does have a few flaws. Being that, for one, it can be almost impossible to try and expand its hard drive. Whereas, when you take apart a Samsung phone, I could tell you right now, it's much easier to do, because all you gotta do is go up into the top here, stick a paper clip or something like that in there, and then out comes the SIM card slot. Basically, it can pretty much be done. Dang it, I put it on backwards, but anyways. Other than all that, I can pretty much consider the fact that maybe the iPhone is great just for people thinking that it's one of the greatest things ever invented, but the truth is that, it's not the first smartphone to ever come around into the marketplace. Steve Jobs wasn't really all that bright with any of that. Well, anyways, I don't really know about you, but I guess all of these arguments and the like are going to get through to me pretty quickly, so let's just end it here. If you want to see more, go down to my channel, though. Make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.